We're good, guys. That right? Okay, good. All right, guys, and what is going on? This is the Club of the Man 1993 coming at you for my live review of this week's episode of NXT, the February 6th, 2019 edition of NXT, which we are now on the road to. Again, I keep double checking. It's going to be at Barclays, but it's going to be NXT Takeover New York. They're not going to call it NXT Takeover Brooklyn 5, which kind of don't get why they're not going to call it Takeover Brooklyn 5 again as of now, because it's taking place in a place where they've had a takeover every year, and also it's a special place because that's where they had the first ever takeover outside of Full Sail, though, in my opinion. So I was a little head scratching on what happened, like why they're not calling it just calling it Takeover Brooklyn 5. But as of now, it's Takeover New York. And again, yes, I still am going to Mania, of course, but unfortunately, I will not be there Friday nights. I will not be able to see Takeover live, so it's just a little bit of a disappointment, but it is what it is. But so yeah, we're now on the road here, and overall, for a first show after a pay-per-view, besides, of course, the little show last week where it was like kind of, I felt more of like a pre-show, which matches weren't bad, but there really wasn't much to talk about, really. That's why I didn't do a review last week for NXT. So usually, for the most part, what do I want to call it now? Shoot, let's just try to thought. Oh, I got first show, after the Fallout show. Usually, sometimes you'll see set them up for some down the line, or sometimes it'll be just a game of squash matches. People put them over. To me, it was kind of like a mixture of both. So I gotta say, it was a pretty good episode. Finish, though, was a little bit weird to the show, which I wouldn't say was weird, but the main event, I have a little bit of a nitpick I want to pick about that main event, but all right, now I still thought it was a good show overall. NXT once again just tends to, looking forward to what's next, of course. We got a big match set up though, for in 2 weeks, down the line, so we'll definitely we'll be talking about that match. Looking forward to it. It's gonna be kind of like a rubber match also between these two, since they've had 2 matches before. So we'll get into that as well, talk about it. So let's check the live chat to start off with, and we've got Mark and Robbie. Mark says, "Hey, Mike, did you get any sleep?" Oh, yes, I slept a lot better last night for sure, guys. So is Bianca Belair a face? I thought she did more so solidify a face turn at Takeover. Again, the goal of the match trying to Takeover was to make it look like Bianca could have won and give her more like a face look, which more of a baby face feel, which I feel like they have. Tonight, though, she did kind of show little inches here and there. Maybe she still wasn't a complete baby face, but in my opinion, it makes sense. Like, are you going to literally make her like a legitimate, 100% baby face, just like right off the back, pretty much? You know what I mean? Like, it's got grow and come on sooner. If you know what I mean? Like, she's got grow. I just later, okay, I'm a villain. I'm cocky. When all of a sudden, oh, I'm good. Hi guys, we're best friends. No, they weren't gonna do it that smoothly. I thought so. But I do think Bianca is definitely a face now. What's up, Robbie? Saying Drew Gulak beat Ben Stiller from Dodgeball. Oh yeah, that guy was goofy. Mark said the guy was an idiot, but he did entertain the crowd though. He gave them quite a pop. But we'll talk about that a little bit. We did have Drew Gulak making an appearance on NXT tonight for sure. So we'll see where to go from here with that. But thank you guys for joining me in the live chat. So let's get rolling as we start off with this opening segment with Johnny Champion coming out with his NXT North American Championship. He's all smiling and he soaks in the Johnny Champion chant with a few people here and there saying Johnny sucks. And then he says, for years, we've all been watching a winding journey in NXT. And he agrees with the "you deserve it" chants, saying we deserve it, and we were validated when he won the North American Championship. He's proud to say Johnny Wrestling is back. And then, no one will survive. That badass music hits, and out comes Tommaso Ciampa, saying he's not out here to take away from Johnny's moment. He's here to celebrate it. At TakeOver Phoenix, Johnny proved what Ciampa already knew. He knows how to listen. Johnny followed his lead, and now they own the world. Both of them holding gold is the dream they always used to talk about, riding up and down the road, just trying to get to NXT. The final shot at TakeOver with both of them standing on the stage holding their belts proved this is our moment. Johnny says there is no us. The only reason he came on stage at the end of the night in Phoenix was to prove that he'll never need Tommaso Ciampa, which, you know, we kind of wonder, is that true or is that not true? Because, again, Johnny obviously, you know, had to go as far as, you know, again, you know, pulling a Tommaso Ciampa tactic to win that match against Ricochet. You know, I mean, he wasn't clean, but he used, you know, he went more brutal and whatnot, like, you know, a more dark side him again, which we're showing in that match. So there's always a question: are we going to get Johnny wrestling, or are we going to be getting Johnny Badass, or another name that someone else gave him, not Ricochet, someone else gave him quite briefly. So once again, you know, Johnny's just like in denial, you know, that did not happen. You know, I wasn't out there because of that. This is what really happened with us. I still like how, like, you know, he's in that back and forth stage. But as I said before, Johnny having this champion, the idea I pitched 2 weeks ago when I officially made the turn over for Johnny Gargano was the fact that, okay, like, you know, this dark side is still lingering on Johnny. And Johnny, obviously, to me, is going to be, you know, having this championship now, winning it with a Tommaso Ciampa tactic, is going to cause him to, you know, want to, you know, it's going to force him to be digging deeper into that dark side to be able to hold on to that championship. As I said before, it's kind of like an addiction. Like, you know, when he first did something, you know, a little dirty or evil, as he said months ago when he attacked Aleister Black, you know, it was just to get him out of his way. But he was admitting at the same time, you know what? Even though it was a little dirty, I kind of liked it. It's kind of like how would you have to do it sometimes to, you know, succeed, basically, if you want to do so, to get to where you want to be and to accomplish your goal. So that's why I keep saying with this championship now, Johnny it's going to be tougher for Johnny to, you know, fight off this addiction of this dark side and to be able to be Johnny wrestling. Instead, he's going to be more and more of Johnny Badass. But of course, the new nickname for him soon, as Velveteen Dream came out. He says how this is cute. DIY are champs. But he's not out here for Gollum and his precious Goldie or Johnny Badass. This is about the man who stole the show at TakeOver just by showing up. While they were winning gold, he was winning the Worlds Collide tournament. And that means he gets a shot at the NXT, at an NXT title of his choosing. Ciampa steps to him, but Dream tells him to back up. He can use the lust in Tommaso's eyes, but the dream is over for the NXT champion. He wants Johnny and the N8 North American Championship. Johnny says that while Dream was sitting in the seats at TakeOver, he was winning the belt, and the next night he represented NXT in the Royal Rumble. He is sitting on top of the world, and he's feeling dangerous, but Dream doesn't care about that. He wants to know if when they face off for the belt, he'll get Johnny Champion or Johnny Jackass, which a Johnny Jackass chant starts chanting and getting over pretty easily. Johnny then backs away, and him and Ciampa trade a glance while both stand on the ramp, and we get the DIY chants. But then Ciampa though backs up and leaves. And then it's made official later on that in 2 weeks, we will be getting a match with Johnny Gargano and the Velveteen Dream for the NXT North American Champion, which is interesting also because this is kind of the rubber match between these two. Because if you remember, last year in a go-home show for TakeOver Philadelphia, they faced off because storyline-wise, Johnny Gargano replaced Velveteen Dream in the match he was supposed to have to qualify for that number one contenders fatal four-way match. So, you know, Velveteen Dream pretty much wanted to see Johnny prove that, you know, he belonged in that title shot like he did last year. And they also had a match shortly after TakeOver Brooklyn 4 last year when Velveteen Dream was calling Johnny Gargano Johnny Failure. So this is pretty much the rubber match here. So we'll see what happens. Will Johnny be able to retain the championship? Will he drop the title of the Velveteen Dream? Again, what's that dark side going to lead to him to do next? We'll have to wait and see, but a great opening segment. I definitely look forward to this match happening in 2 weeks for sure. We get a recap of what we just saw at the commercial, and then we get hyped for a main event tonight, which is going to be a 6-woman tag team match. Then we see Drew Gulak entering the building as well, and we're going to be seeing him a little bit later. Then the Forgotten Sons come out, and then they're ringside. It was Jackson Riker taking on Manzor. It was pretty much just a squash match. So I don't know if they guess they're built up Jackson Riker as like like the muscle of the Forgotten Sons. I'm not sure. So he came in and he squashed Mansuter. After the match, he tries to hit his finisher again. But then the referee told Blake and Cutler to give him this to get out of the ring, basically, whatnot. So we then have Kathy Kelly backstage waiting for Ricochet to finish a photo shoot so she can ask him about Velveteen Dream challenging Johnny Gargano. But then Adam Cole and the rest of the Undisputed Era roll up and tell her Ricochet is a one-trick pony, and the one and only comes over and tells Cole, and Cole tells Ricochet to get to the back of the line for North American Championship. He doesn't know if he knocked a few of Cole's screws loose, but if it wasn't mistaken, Ricochet claims that he did beat him for the belt in the first place, which was true, and that was an awesome match for sure between those two. And then Ricochet challenges him to a match next week, in which Cole accepts. But after the whole era walks away, Ricochet tells Kathy Kelly he doesn't care who is in his way. As soon as he sees an opening, he's taking his title back. So next week we're going to be getting a match, probably our main event, which will be Adam Cole and Ricochet. It's not for a title, of course, there's no one has a title now, but it will be a rematch from TakeOver Brooklyn 4, which again was an unreal match for sure. May have been one of the best matches of that night for sure, gotta say. May have been the best match of the night, stole the show, but that was for sure an awesome match. Then we have Drew Gulak from 205 Live, of course, taking on Eric Bugenhagen. And Bugenhagen was, kind of being entertaining, playing air guitar and drums, hitting high notes also, which, was a little strange, but okay, the crowd loved it. Their crowd wanted the encore, but then Gulak then just, he didn't squash him. Bugenhagen got, some offense on him as well. He did like an abdominal stretch to air guitar moves on Gulak's ribs, but then Gulak, hit him in the elbow and then suplexed him and locks in his Gulak finisher for the win. Afterwards, he gets on the microphone and says he travels the world proving he's the best submission specialist in WWE. And then he comes to NXT and we get this. He's disrespected that they gave him Ben Stiller from Dodgeball. If there's anyone in the back who thinks he can step up to him, come on out and get stretched. He didn't say this, but he should have said, because you will tap out. And sure enough, we got bro. Matt Riddle came in and he says, bro, is that what you really think of NXT? Because everyone here sets the bar every day. So he needs to get out of there or he'll come down and tap him out. Gulak tells him to kick those flip-flops off and come down and make his day. So Riddle tells him he's chosen wisely. So then we have another match of Drew Gulak. And this time he takes on Matt Riddle. And honestly, this is my favorite match of the night. I thought this was a really fun, submission, technical match between these two as like a little bit like a treat. Gulak, putting on his, bring what he brings from 205 Live onto this episode of NXT, where Matt Riddle again was bringing in his MMA style with the elbows and everything, and there's some good close counters and whatnot. And whatnot. Gulak did try to put a Fujiwara armbar, which that's Deonna Purrazzo's move. Gulak don't completely steal that on Riddle towards the end, but then the match ends. Though with Riddle hitting a deadlift power bomb rolled into a knee strike. But then he does the overhead elbows and then he puts the bro mission and he gets Gulak himself to tap out. Afterwards, though, Gulak, despite he's a heel, summoned off for the handshake, which Riddle accepted. Nothing happened. He walked away. So, yeah, I don't know if this means that if Gulak is going to be permanently on on NXT also, which, honestly, wouldn't mind it. I mean, he's done a lot on 205 Live already. And, again, he's definitely, really benefited from Triple H taking over for sure. So, if they want to put him on NXT, by all means, go for it. I mean, yeah, he's a cruiserweight, but he's also, he's a bigger dude. He could probably take on guys like, Matt Riddle or even like, Johnny Gargano or Velveteen Dream or like anyone else who's not NXT right now. It might not be going to the main rosters too, but I'd be for it. I'd go for it if they want to give him more time at NXT. Like anyone on 205 Live, put them on, give them opportunities. You don't have to be just on 205 Live. Put them on SmackDown, not Raw, because we'll have the Lucha House Party. Put them on SmackDown. Put them on NXT or NXT UK, like Noam Dar's been doing here and there. Like cool with me because I was completely cool with this match for sure. And then we'll get to the live chat to do the main event. We had our main event. It was Bianca Belair and the Sky Pirates, Io Shirai and Kairi Sane, taking on 3 of the 4 horsewomen, Shayna Baszler, Jessamyn Duke, and Marina Shafir. This match had its fun points in it, but I'll be 100% honest with you guys. Is it just me, or I really haven't been that impressed with Jessamyn Duke and Marina Shafir so far? I don't know, again, if they're still, they're still new to, to not being MMA style and just, adjusting to, this style of wrestling that they're pretty much doing. I don't know if I just set the bar a little too high for them because they're the other half of the 4 horsemen we haven't seen. But I don't know. I don't. They've been a little sloppy in the ring, in my opinion, and also they've lost all their matches so far. So I mean, the match did have some fun moments in there for sure. Bianca Belair got in there hoping to get her compass. She wanted to prove that since she came this close to being Shayna Baszler at TakeOver Phoenix, she wanted to prove that she wanted to be the one to pin Shayna Baszler. But obviously, Kairi Sane has had beef with her in the past, and Io Shirai has got involved more to help out Kairi. But they've definitely all gone to war together over the past several months. There was a couple nice spots in there. Kairi did have like a flying crossbody to take out Jessamyn Duke and Marina Shafir in there, and then Bianca Belair actually got in there. She hit the KOD on Shayna Baszler, hoping to get the victory, but again, Shafir and Duke just I toppled on top of her just to knock her off to break up the pinfall. And towards the end of the match, also we saw Bianca Belair tag herself in and goes after Shayna Baszler. Once again, she wants to be the one to pin Shayna, but then Io tags herself in when Bianca had Shayna lined up, but Io tagged herself in and does her moonsault off the top rope, and Io Shirai pins the champion. So again, we've seen Kairi Sane do it before. I'm obviously I don't think they want to give away yet that Shayna that Bianca Belair can pin Shayna Baszler. I think we will see that happen at TakeOver New York. But so I guess this is to give Io Shirai a little more momentum. Like I don't know, maybe this is for me like a fatal 4-way or something like that at TakeOver New York, maybe with Io Shirai, Kairi Sane, and Bianca Belair taking on Shayna Baszler. Creating this more awesome. Afterwards, it looked like Bianca looked a little, didn't seem completely. I mean, she gave the high fives and whatnot, and accepted the congrats, the celebration from Io and Kairi, but at the same time she looked a little ticked off. But then again, I think she feels that she's out to prove herself now, which again is giving her that babyface momentum. So other than again me still not being too impressed here with Jessamyn Duke and Marina Shafir, this was still a fun 6-woman tag match for a main event. But of course, the next 2 weeks we got 2 pretty good main events with Ricochet and Adam Cole next week, and the following week Johnny Champion taking on the Velveteen Dream. And with that being said, guys, that was NXT this week. Again, overall, a couple little nitpicks here and there, I gotta say, but I gave the show a B, almost a B-, but I gave it just a B. Check the live chat also and see what we got here. Let's see here. We got here. I think we were here. Anyone notice how a Gargano's entrance had a little bit of Sami Zayn based on how he walked out, which pretty much, what does fit because, Johnny is, again, embracing this dark side, but still trying to, be him without that dark side in general. So I can see that. Him being kind of have a little bit of Sami Zayn for sure. How dare those people chant Johnny sucks? You know what happens when you chant Johnny sucks? Those at Full Sail, you just made the list for sure. Johnny does not suck at all whatsoever. Literally, again, he's put on classic after classic after classic after classic at TakeOver. Again, he is the He is Shawn Michaels of NXT. Yes, he didn't win all these classics, but he's basically Shawn Michaels, that you don't have to be in a championship match to put on a classic, and he's done so. So yeah, definitely Johnny does not suck for sure. Since Io Shirai pinned NXT Women's Champion, does that mean she gets a title shot? She may be at least in the picture for sure. Does this mean Drew Gulak is now a permanent member of the NXT roster? I mean, I kind of hope it is. I mean, again, I just found it a little out of character for him to shake Matt Riddle's hand again, which made me think maybe he's not going to be. But then again, why did he bring him? I mean, I kind of get why they haven't faced like a no-name at first, and then face someone like Matt Riddle, because not to make it look like a complete jobber or whatnot. I get that, but again, I'd be interested to see what they would do with him at NXT for sure. So I hope that means this means he is. I think that Eric guy is the Rock version of No Way Jose in NXT, probably, bro. Speaking of No Way Jose, remember how Drew McIntyre damn near killed him in the conga line at the Rumble? Oh yeah, because once again, he's a new Adam Rose. They're the conga lines of Rosebuds. Again, it was not the way that I think No Way Jose going up to the main roster already was a bad idea, but put him on Raw was even worse. On SmackDown, he could have maybe gone somewhere with a smaller roster, but on Raw, no, he should not have been there. Mustafa Ali and Drew Gulak, the graduates of 205 Live, should be Cedric Alexander as well. Robbie said, I heard the crowd chant "You can't wrestle," but I don't know who it was directed towards, either Jessamine Duke or Marina Shafir. Can't remember. One of them was in the ring at the time when it was chanted. I can't remember who. Might have been Marina, maybe. I'm not sure though. Maybe a triple threat between Shayna, Io, and Bianca. Maybe we could see that down the line for sure. Maybe that could be a number one contenders match or something. Let's see here. I'm checking out. And I'll have a good night. Thank you for joining us, Mark. Robbie asks, so Mike, if you could pick a dream opponent for Gargano at WrestleMania 35, who would you pick? Seth Rollins, AJ Styles, or Cedric Alexander? With the current situation, I'd say, obviously, he probably doesn't have too much left in the company. I probably would say maybe another year or two left, maybe. My opinion, I don't know what's going on, whether he's going to AEW or not. I'd say for this year, AJ Styles. For WrestleMania, Johnny Gargano and AJ Styles, I think, would be the best route to go if Johnny was to have a match of 35 between those three. So I'd say Johnny, AJ Styles, but I definitely would love to see a Seth Rollins, Gargano match, and even Cedric Alexander and Johnny Gargano for sure. But I think this year, AJ Styles. Braun Strowman was a Rosebud. Again, do not remind me. Team Fire and Desire. Yeah, that's apparently what they're calling Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. What about Candice? Do you think she gets called up this year? That's a tough one. I mean, maybe, I don't know. I still would like to see her get in the run with the NXT for the women's title at some point also. So maybe not as soon as Johnny gets called. I'd say maybe later this year. If not, then definitely next year, I'd say. Just my opinion. But thank you guys. Thank you for both Mark and Robbie for leaving your stuff in the live chat. As always, guys, also make sure to check out Robbie's channel as well. Check out his fantasy booking ideas. And hopefully soon he will then get into his Ricochet and The Rock fantasy booking, which I think would be an awesome match for sure when that would happen someday. Hopefully it does, and I think it would be amazing. Yeah, so check out his channel. If you like what you see, make sure to get hashtag please sign Robbie, is always trending on Twitter. And guys, as always, please slap a like on my video, subscribe more content on my channel, follow me on Twitter as well. The main everybody thing, I gave it a B for this week's episode of NXT, almost a B+, but didn't quite feel, I guess, because with the performance of Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir, now I'm just like, about them. But I have some odds and ends scores coming, over the next several days as well. With my video game stuff and whatnot. Of course, tomorrow I will do my top 10 special, which will be my top 10 bet. We're going to talk about pay-per-views tomorrow. We'll do that stream tomorrow for my top 10 special of the week. And then, of course, check out my Elimination Chamber card predictions as well, even though it's not getting a lot of views on, which, again, my match cards aren't getting that many views anymore, which is a little disappointing, but, it is what it is. But do that. Next week, of course, the usual stick with the reviews, and then, of course, my preview and predictions for Elimination Chamber as well next week, and then we shall go from there. So, guys, once again, thank you to Mark and Rod for joining me in the live chat, guys. Again, B for NXT. Slap like on the video. Subscribe or content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter as well at DemandAir93. And that, guys, I am out of here. So, until then, guys, have a great rest of your night. I'll see you guys tomorrow for my special live stream. So, until then, peace out, everybody.